Aloha YouTube, I'm feeling tropical, and welcome into the Cardboard Critics Sports Card Podcast here at the Hollywood Rip Studio, fueled by Celsius energy drinks. Remember to live fit, but low-key, actually, be careful with this stuff. It's like drinking a bolt of lightning that goes straight to your heart. But as always...
I think that's called cardiac arrest.
Yeah, exactly. As always, thanks for joining us. I'm Mr. Hollywood. That is Joe Nasty over there, and it's one of our favorite times of the year. The NFL is underway. Baseball is quickly headed towards October, where we will probably see a wild card team in the World Series again, thanks to the new format.
Yeah.
But what cards have been hot? What cards have been cold? And time to put our money where our mouths are. Who are we investing in when it comes to all of the GOATs in every sport? But let's start with the cards that are hot, driving markets forward this week. Card number 1, 2023 Prism Silver rookie card of Miami Dolphins running back / wide receiver, I guess now. Achane in a PSA 10. That is up 43.8% over the past 7 days to $70. Through 2 games so far, the Dolphins offense has kind of struggled, but Achane has had 32 carries for 120 yards and a touchdown, and he has added 14 catches for 145 yards and a touchdown. Yes, that is more catches than Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, I believe. Raheem Mostert's banged up. Achane is a dual threat at this point out of the backfield. Barring injury, he's probably one of the top 2 or 3 most explosive backs in the NFL. I think we talked about Achane like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I was big on him 2 weeks ago.
You were huge on him.
If I remember correctly, your response to me being big on Achane was, but Raheem Mostert is number 1 on the depth chart.
I don't know if it was necessarily in that tonnage.
How you like me now? It's a great song, you know?
Literally, I saw the notes and what was coming up, but I knew you put that in there to stick a thorn in my side. I know.
But we talked
I
about...
may look dumb. I'm not that dumb.
Yeah, but we talked about Bijan Robinson's silver PSA 10, right? Several times. It was like $150, and Achane's was like $50, or like $45 or something. Now, Bijan Robinson's silver PSA 10 is $110, and Achane's is $70. So $150 to $50 then, $110 to $70 now. I'm telling you, Achane is a lot better than a lot of people think. And at $70, I still don't have a problem with people buying Achane's cards. What are your thoughts so far on the star number 1 running back for the Miami Dolphins?
He's been explosive. He's been one of the top options, maybe the top option, on what was supposed to be a varied Dolphins attack. But 2 things going against him. I don't know if you heard, but their number 1 QB got a little bit of a ouchie. With Tua's injury, he's probably about to see a ton of stacked boxes. It's like their backup QB isn't just like any backup QB. It's Skylar Thompson. K-State, and teams are going to dare Skylar Thompson to beat them over the top. So that's going to be a lot of stacked boxes. It's probably going to be a lot of one-on-one coverage, actually, for those wide receivers. But it's going to be tough for him to run. He'll get his catches probably, especially swinging out of the backfield. But the other thing is, we did talk about his size, and you talked about his size a couple weeks ago.
I did.
And even heading into his big game against the Bills, which they did not do very well, he was dealing with an ankle injury. He was listed as questionable. He played, did relatively well. And now, considering what's happening with their quarterback, yeah, I do think that things are... I would still, $70 is a good investment. I do agree. But things are sort of stacked against him as we sit here right now. Also, Raheem Mostert, though. No, that's...
Do we know how long Tua is going to be out for?
I mean, it could be his whole life, but I don't actually know, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, give the ball to Achane more, more chances that he is going to break away with that 4.3 speed and score some touchdowns. And honestly, even if there's a quarterback who's dumping it off, I think that almost favors game script for him and Raheem Mostert, in my opinion. I think this affects Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle more than it affects Devon Achane, in my opinion. So I'm still high on Devon Achane. But moving to our second hot card of the week, it is Chicago Cubs center fielder Pete Crow-Armstrong, or PCA. Did he really?
Oh, yeah. Harvard Westlake.
Went to Harvard Westlake High School here in Los Angeles. I had no idea.
Yep.
But it is up 28.6% over the past week to $60 per card. Sorry, what card? His 2024 Topps Chrome.
All of them.
Rookie autograph in raw condition, which in my 2024 Topps Chrome opening, I pulled 2 of those.
Oh.
I pulled the base card, so this base autograph that is now a $60 card. I pulled his blue numbered to 150 as well. I sold that, I think, for $275.
Nice.
But there's been 21 sales of the base rookie auto. As we said, $60. Over the past month, he's gone 28 for 87. Good for a 321 average, 5 homers, 20 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, a 390 OBP. But what I've been most impressed by, to be honest, is his absolutely crazy speed and defense in the outfield. I don't know if you watched the Dodgers host the Cubs the other week, or a few days ago.
Last week, yeah.
Last week, yeah. Pete Crow-Armstrong, he played center field and half of Cody Bellinger's right field.
That's not just any right fielder. That's a great
that's Cody Bellinger is like a Gold Glove caliber outfielder.
Yeah.
And Pete Crow-Armstrong plays half of Cody Bellinger's outfield too.
Yeah.
It is insane. But that being said, the Cubs have a 0.1% chance of making the playoffs. And it's going to be a small sample size by the end of September, even if PCA continues on this trend. So I am personally waiting on this card to the offseason. I think it'll drop down because he will not be involved with the playoffs. So I'm not buying it at $60 a card for this one. I sold one of these for $40 10 days ago.
Yeah.
You know? So I understand the blip. He's a super talented player. He has so many tools. But at the end of the day, his season is going to end early, a.k.a. he will not be playing in October. And I think you will be able to get this card for $40 again come, say, February or January or December. I don't know why I just went backwards there. Like December, January, or February. What are your thoughts on PCA?
I think you can get it for cheaper around those times for sure.
Okay.
This feels like, you talked about the game at Dodger Stadium, this feels like a major overreaction to that one game because the highlights were spectacular.
Oh, it was crazy.
But he had 3 incredible highlights in that one game that were all over the highlight. Let's be honest, we get all our highlights from Twitter now.
Yeah.
But the insane defensive abilities are one thing, but those hot numbers now raise his batting averages, and I'm going to look at him. His season average now is a scalding 239. Mm-hmm. His career average is now raised to 229. And so, 229. I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. He was granted the 19th overall pick. First round, 19th pick in 2020 by the Mets. So teams figured the hit tool was going to come around eventually. Maybe, hard maybe, all caps, this is that moment where he's figuring it out with the stick. Because if he does, 4-tool player, whatever you want to call it, great all-around player. I just think that the numbers are what they are up to this point of the season. You're allowed to have a hot streak. Over the course of a long season, when you are hitting 239 over the course of a long season, that's kind of who you are at this point. So, yeah, you're going to get it for cheaper if you really need it on a PCA.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a $35, $40 card again within a few months. Mm-hmm. So I think we can pass on PCA, although having an incredible month the past, really even a little more than a month now. But the numbers were honestly just flat out bad before that.
Yeah. I think people saw the highlights, so ooh, that's fun.
Yeah. But we're going to move to our third hot card of the week, and that is shortstop for the Texas Rangers, Sebastian Walcott. He is currently at AA Frisco. His 2024 Bowman Chrome autograph in raw condition is up 50% in the past week to $60 a card. It was obviously a $30 card a week ago. I'm good at math.
Wow.
$30 to $60.
That was really amazing.
Actually, no, that's wrong.
You are so good at math.
I'm so good at math.
So good.
I'm just so good at math. So it's a $60 card now. It's also, by the way, it's $128 to get this card in a PSA 10.
What's that in terms of percentages?
Don't even talk to me about percentages right now. Just don't even talk to me about percentages. But what has Sebastian Walcott done in the minors this year? He has hit .265. He has 11 homers, 56 RBIs, 27 stolen bases, good for a .796 OPS. He is 6'4". He weighs 190 pounds.
Wow.
He is 18 years old. Man, 6'4" shortstop in Texas. There's a couple of those.
Yeah. Well, there used to be more. One's in Minnesota now.
Yeah, that's true. But this kid's 18. And to be honest with you, I don't really love prospecting. It's just so hard to know, like, what's the right call. The elephant in the room for Sebastian Walcott is that Corey Seager is literally the exact same build. And he is an MVP candidate standing in the position where he would presumably play. But he's 18 years old. Maybe, who knows? He could be used as a trade chip down the line for the Rangers to improve their team. They had a disappointing year so far this year. Of course, there's been a ton of injury for them. But what do I think about this card? $128 for a PSA 10. Honestly, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. He's 18. He's doing great at 18. I get that. But honestly, to have a little more sample size, to wait a little longer, to say till he's 19, say he proves it for another year, like show me a little more proof for a year. Do it in AA for another year. Do it in AAA. Then maybe I start to think like, okay, yeah, this guy can handle it long term. But I think for me right now, it's still too early. What do you think about Sebastian Walcott?
Yeah, 6'4", 190 pounds. 6'4" is a huge shortstop. And like you said, the Rangers haven't had a 6'4" shortstop since September 2nd, which is which is when Corey last played.
That's true.
The thing that you were talking about with Corey sort of blocking him down the road, Seager, I would imagine, at some point, probably in the near future, will be a DH.
Yeah, he's going to move.
His hit tool is so good that you just got to do whatever you can to preserve Corey Seager. Walcott just got called up to AA as an 18-year-old. He's only played 5 games at Frisco.
Yeah.
So this rise in his price and this, that, whatever coincides with his promotion. He's off to a pretty hot start, actually, as he's moved up in a level. So this is the period in a player's development where it's time to prove it if you're a top prospect.
Yeah.
The top prospects, the future of organizations, are in AA. And so, sort of to counteract what you just said, where you're like, show me a bit more, let's see how things are. As an 18-year-old, and they believe you already should be in AA, to me that says they see something really special with this kid, and they're already like trying to put that extra seasoning on him. AAA is not that place. That's where your fringe major leaguers are, and the guys who are hanging around for too long, trying to hang out.
Yeah.
So to be 18 years old, playing relatively well stat-wise, and already in AA, I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
The only negative, and I just saw this right now, do the Rangers really develop that well? Like, who are the top prospects? Like, this is...
Well, one of their top prospects just came up the other day. I think Kumar Rocker was their top pitching prospect. He just came up.
But remember, that's the guy who had coming out of school issues and sort of off the field issues.
Correct.
So, like, that kind of fell into their lap. But Wyatt Langford's not
Hasn't
amazing.
been great. Evan Carter's been awful.
This year, he has been terrible. So, like, this is not necessarily the organization where I'm like, ooh, if this was the Dodgers, if this was the Astros, if this was one of those organizations.
But, to your point, you have to keep in mind that this kid is 18. Jackson Holiday is what?
20? 21 now? 21, yeah.
And yes, he is a way higher average, but this kid is hitting for more power than Jackson Holiday was and has more speed than Jackson Holiday. So I understand your side of it.
Yeah.
And I understand why people would buy this. Just for me, I don't like prospecting this early. That's just me.
No, it's very early in the project.
But we are going to move to our cold cards of the week, starting with Aloha to Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, the reverse Aloha.
The reverse Aloha.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean like this one. Like not hi, bye. His 2020 Donruss Optic Hollow and a PSA 10. We could have used his Prism Silver, but we're just going to go with his Donruss Optic Hollow. Just give some love to Donruss, you know?
So,
And a PSA 10, what's up? Down 40% to 40%.
That's
to
hardcore.
$86 a card. This was a $150 to $160 card at the start of the season. It's only been 2 games. He has a 64% completion rate, 483 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a rating of 78.9. He did get hurt. Who knows how long he is going to be out for? Is this a concussion again?
yes.
Okay, so this could be a week, hypothetically.
That's number 4, and they've all been major.
That's true. But we've all known that Tua has been streaky.
Oh, yeah.
In the past, we all know that. Here are my thoughts on Tua. You know, Tua's a really interesting guy because wasn't it just the other year that Tua said, like, because when he got concussed for like the second or third time, he was like, I think I'm going to retire. Like, I'm going to retire from
Did
the
he say
NFL.
that?
Yeah. I think he was like planning on retiring. And then all of a sudden he gets like the craziest contract ever.
Yeah.
And he comes back, and here we are again. He's concussed again. Maybe he will decide to retire again. I don't know what's going on. But that being said, that is a lot of money to leave on the table if Tua Tagovailoa decides to retire. And my thought is the weapons are there in Miami. He's got Tyreek Hill. He's got Jalen Waddle. He's got Devon Achane.
Your boy.
He's got my boy Devon Achane. Fantasy, let's go. I think that Tua's cards will come down even a little more, and that this actually is an opportunity to buy and flip them, possibly, assuming he plays in the NFL again, which I'm going to assume he will. That's my thought on it. He had one bad game, like 3 picks, right? You have to remember that this guy threw for 4,600 yards and 30 touchdowns last year. Like, this dude is one of the better. I mean, he makes a lot of mistakes and gets knocked the F out all the time.
All the time.
All the time. But at the end of the day, this dude is, arm-wise, is one of the best 8 quarterbacks in the NFL, probably, in my opinion, based on the weapons he has around him.
I'd have to think about that.
So if this is like a $50, I mean, dude, if this is a $50 card,
Sure.
I think there's actually upside to it. You don't seem to agree. What do you think about Tua?
Well, I mean, this thought just popped in my head. You know who knocked him out this game? It was Damar Hamlin, who also sort of had football circumstantial issues.
Yeah.
So kind of, that's just a terrible game, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But all you have to do is go back. I think it was the first episode, or like the last week of preseason, and we talked about Tua.
Yeah, we did.
And my thoughts are exactly the same. I was hardcore out on Tua Tagovailoa at that time.
Yeah.
And like certainly a 4th major concussion is not going to sway me. He's going to put up numbers. I'm not debating that.
Yeah.
But you said it yourself. He is streaky. They will not win the division, which means that they will have to play cold playoff games, which means he will disappear. A Hawaiian who went to Alabama, who plays in Miami. All you have to do is look at his playoff game last year in chilly KC where he did nothing. He will not really accomplish anything other than numbers, which is fine. Everyone's got different goals and different accomplishments. He's got his contract, but he also may never play again. Doubtful.
No, he will.
He will, and the article said that Tua wants to come back. Should he is a different question.
Yeah.
But he also may not. Like, there is a possibility that he may not. So I was out then. I'm even farther out the door now. Like, I'm down the freeway. I'm getting dinner. Anything Tua related is back there. I'm gone.
You're out.
I've been out.
Yeah. Even, I mean, we've gone from $150 to like $50
Out.
Okay.
He doesn't know how to slot. He can't protect himself. He's not going to really do anything of magnitude in the NFL.
Okay. Well, we disagree on that one. Let's hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. But we're going to move to our next hot. Definitely not.
I mean, he's
definitely
good
not
looking,
hot. Oh, jeez. Definitely not a hot card. This is a cold card of the week. It is Will Levis, quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. That was from the last topic. His 2023 his 2023 Prism Silver in a PSA 10 was down 39.9%. That's 40% essentially.
Why didn't you just write 40?
I don't know. $156 for that card now. $260 at the start of the season. 15 sales of it in the past week. So that 40% decrease is a justified amount. That is not an outlier. They are 0-2 with losses to the Bears and the Jets.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers still figuring it out with the Jets, and they lost to Caleb Williams. 2024 so far, what has Will Levis done? He has a 59.4% completion rate. That's almost 60%.
Almost. At least that one's, you don't have, it's not the 5, right? So you don't have to round up.
Yeah, I don't have to round up. Closer to 59%. He has thrown for 319 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and he has a QBR that's just right around 70. Man, the Titans. What can I say about the Titans? Tony Pollard is like one of their best players.
Sure. Their uniforms aren't even cool.
No, they're not. They're really not.
They kind of suck, actually.
Will Levis has had some decent games in the past. But the bottom line is, at this point, it just doesn't really look like he's really a game changer by any means. And he's basically just got a bunch of old people running around on his offense, you know?
Yeah, and doesn't even have Derrick Henry even.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, even if they had Derrick Henry, it would just be like another slow person on that team, you know? So I totally understand why Will Levis cards are down. I'm not buying it because I don't believe that Will Levis is a good quarterback. Your thoughts?
It's not even that he's playing inefficiently. Like, the numbers are not good. You didn't even mention the egregious fumble, which we're about to get into. But it's like inefficient, but he's also committing some of the more Cirque du Soleil turnovers you'll ever see already. 2 weeks, his head coach put it perfectly today when the CBS cameras caught the head coach yelling, "What the F are you doing?" And he didn't say F. Like, lip readers galore, and even people who don't read lips very well, like myself, it was very clearly, "What the F are you doing?" He tried to create something out of nothing, and it was egregious. The game they lost to the Bears, the Bears didn't score an offensive touchdown.
Yeah,
and they beat them in week 1. It's one thing to be bad. It's another thing to be bad and sloppy, which is, leave that to Tommy's chili burgers, you know, which are actually fine. I just couldn't find the correlation.
They're good.
Yeah, I just couldn't find a good correlation. He's not effective. He's having terrible turnovers. They're not winning. There's not really much to write home about at the moment.
No, there's not. There's really no excitement to be had whatsoever out of Tennessee. Maybe the biggest excitement is probably them trying to figure out how to build a new stadium at this point.
Which I think they're going to.
I think they're going, and it's probably going to be really cool. I actually can't wait for Nashville to get a baseball team outside of their AAA affiliate Sounds for the Milwaukee Brewers.
That'll have to disappear though.
And that is a great stadium, by the way. If you've never been to a minor league game, that is one to go to.
Oh, I love minor league baseball.
You know, it's incredible. The scoreboard's actually shaped like a guitar.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
The neck is the innings, right?
The neck is the innings. Yeah. But we're gonna move on now to our invest segment of this week's show, and we're going to do it a little differently. We're not going to talk about individual cards. We're going to talk about individual players. And we're going to specifically talk, let's call it GOAT talk.
GOAT talk.
Okay? You know what? Nah, let's call it Invest-A-Goat.
Sounds kind of...
Get it? You get it?
I got it.
Okay. LeBron James. Michael Jordan.
Decent.
Babe Ruth.
Heard of him.
Mickey Mantle. Shohei Ohtani.
Ooh.
Tom Brady.
From TV?
From TV. Tom Brady from TV. Patrick Mahomes.
Oakley.
Wayne Gretzky,
Also TV.
Lionel Messi,
Miami.
and Tiger Woods. Those are our 10 athletes that we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give you a budget of $10,000, let's say.
Okay.
$5,000 to $10,000,
Normal
which I
Tuesday
know
for me.
which I know is a lot of money,
Sure.
right? But for that amount of money, if you can pick one card,
Oh, one. Okay.
you can pick one card. So you can't say like, oh, I'd take like $1,000 and for this and like $1,000 for that, and you got.
I'm a big all-in guy.
I'm saying, I'm allowing you to swipe the card for $10K.
Okay.
Take anything you want.
Okay.
Okay. Which one are you taking? Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first? I want you to go first.
Thanks for asking. I'm going to go with, and first and foremost, I'm going to say something really controversial.
Okay.
I think all these players are pretty good. I just want.
Not bad.
No, like I think they could accomplish something. That's just me, just speaking from my heart. I know that's really going to set the comments aflame. I'm going to go with. Well, it's between two.
Okay.
Either Patrick
Wow. Okay.
from SpongeBob or Shohei.
Okay.
And it's because of the potential of what could be. And I think I've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
Already both great. Both of them already Hall of Famers.
Yep.
At least Ohtani's knocking on the door if he's not, but he is. But already they both have incredible moments that are still ahead of them. We have had the discussion where Mahomes is probably, I think you could say, the second best quarterback of all time already.
Right.
And they'll make the AFC Championship again for sure this year, and he'll probably win.
Barring injury.
Barring injury, like he's got a lot of amazing accomplishments still to come, which means as someone who's already incredibly valuable, it's only going to go up from here.
Yeah.
So, and then there's the Ohtani factor, which I've talked about, I think, many times on our airwaves. He's getting into the playoffs for the first time. He will be in the playoffs for the next decade. Mm-hmm. He also has many moments. Now, he also has many opportunities to tank his value, relatively. Probably not tank, but you know what I mean. Like to have a bit of a smudge on his record.
Right.
So, that's why I'm taking one of those two, and based off my own argument, probably Mahomes.
So you're taking Mahomes. So you'll probably take like a Mahomes flawless national treasures, low graded RPA or something for say like $8,000 to $10,000.
Yes.
Probably something like that. Or like this Shohei card, which is probably like $9,000 to $10,000 right now.
Mm-hmm. This one right here?
This one right here.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay. Well, you heard it from Joe Nasty himself. He is going ultra modern. Players that are still playing.
As the person who really rejects modernity in himself, which is wild.
Let me explain my train of thought
I've
on this
wanted
one
robo-graders in a different episode, and I've wanted modern players.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah. He is really trying to push this hobby forward, guys. But here are my thoughts on this.
Welcome.
The way I thought about this was, okay, if I took a Babe Ruth card, obviously you'd not be able to get, I'd want to get a rookie card that's serial numbered, ideally, with any GOAT. But serial numbered cards did not exist in the old times.
No.
If it were a Babe Ruth card, you'd probably have to go with like a 33 Gaudy, which is like this one spinning on the pedestal here. You can get like a PSA 2 of this for like $9,000, $10,000. If I took Wayne Gretzky, it'd be like a rookie 79 O-Pee-Chee, but the highest grade you'd probably be able to get is like an 8.5. And at the end of the day, hockey just is not as widespread popular, and so I would say no, I would not buy the Gretzky.
Even for the very good one?
Even for the very great one.
Oh, right.
A Michael Jordan 1986 Fleer PSA 8.5 would probably be like 9,500. I wouldn't take that because I think the pop count on this is way too high. This is printed to the moon. Ohtani, you're probably looking at something like this or like a Bowman Chrome pitching or batting rookie autograph in the 8,000 to 10,000 range. Mantle is probably out of the question altogether. It's probably just way too expensive.
That's the one that just sold, right? recently?
Which one?
Wasn't there like a mantle for like 1 point something million or something? Or am I projecting?
You might be projecting. Okay. There was a Wilt Chamberlain for over
that
$1
I
million
know for
last
sure.
week.
But yeah.
I mean, mantles do sell over $1 million.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm not going to say a lot, but it happens.
Sure.
It happens. I mean, the cheapest, like this card in a PSA 1 is like $25,000. But I'm going to tell you why I'm going to eliminate Mahomes. I'm going to eliminate LeBron. I'm going to eliminate Mantle because we can't afford it. I'm going to eliminate Michael Jordan. And I'm going to eliminate Shohei Ohtani, which leaves me with Babe Ruth and Tom Brady. And I'll tell you why I am going to go with Babe Ruth or Tom Brady.
Okay, I was about to say.
So, the reason I'm going with them is because I'd rather go with someone that's either retired or dead.
Okay.
Because they cannot have a career-ending injury.
Okay.
They cannot molest a 14-year-old. I can't believe I have to say that because of Wander Franco.
Oh, yeah.
They can't get caught for steroids or banned for some other reason, right? That's kind of my big thing. If it comes to I have $10,000 to invest and just kind of pray to God that it does well over time, what the Babe Ruth card does, no, it's not a rookie, but it's from 1933. Age is on its side. The population count is low. He will always be considered probably the best player of his generation, maybe the best player of all time. Tom Brady, I know Mahomes is having a record-breaking start to his career,
right?
But to reach Tom Brady levels is going to be real challenging, and I mean real challenging.
I know.
And so for me, I would rather lock in that I think that Brady's Super Bowl count, in my opinion, is probably the hardest record to be broken that's outstanding, aside from maybe the number of goals that Wayne Gretzky scored, or like Hank Aaron hitting 715 home runs or 14 home runs.
I think the Joe DiMaggio hit streak is...
That too.
Yeah.
But so in my opinion, I would rather have this card or this card, and significantly less expensive. So you know what? Pick them both up. But this card in a PSA 10 is I think it's like $7,500. You can get one of these for around the same price in a very low grade. I mean, it's going to be like a PSA 2.
So you're basically out on Gretzky because it's the same reasoning, but just hockey.
Yeah, same reasoning. It's just hockey.
No, fair enough.
Do you have any rebuttal to that?
No, I think that's fair. I mean, stuff can always come out. That's my one rebuttal is like something could come out about Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Tom Brady did have stuff happen. He's still
True.
Tom Brady these days is more in the tabloids than he is, in terms of like Sports Illustrated. But yeah. I get where you're coming from.
But when players retire, we tend to see a spike in their cards right when they retire because of like FOMO, and then we see a pretty big dip, right? We saw this happen with so many athletes in the past, and they start to creep up again. And I just think Tom Brady is a good bet to be the best quarterback of all time.
Well, he will be inducted soon as well. So.
Exactly.
In what, 4 years or so?
Yeah,
3 years.
But that'll do it for us here. I think it was like episode 17, 18 of the Cardboard Critics Sports Card Podcast.
All that matters is the memories.
That's true. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. We'd love to hear from you. So from both of us, Mr. Hollywood Joe Nasty, we'll see you right back here next time at Hollywood Rips. We are